Good morning, everybody out of Hamburg. Uli Cup welcomes you to the CCT German Masters semi-final this morning. It's all set up for a final day of the 6th edition of the German Masters. We will see Team Walstad versus Team Liu from China. Both had a really nice quarterfinal yesterday, won their games, and here you can see the way throughout the playoffs. Pfister lost to Team Ofev. The other final, Walstad defeated Team Muad from Scotland, and De Cruz lost also to Team Smith. So the other semi-finalists, Team Ofev versus Team Smith. We will see the lineups here. The team of featured game is Alexander Lindström on lead position, Magnus Nedgrotten on second, and Markus Heuberg on third, and Stefan Walstad, the skip of Team Walstad. And here we have them lineup changes as skip Liu is facing some flu and not feeling well. So we have Xiang Ling Sang on skip position, but he throws first rocks. So we're about to start. All is set up. As I told you before, this will be the semi-final of the 6th German Masters here in Hamburg Curling Club. So defensive opening, first draw into the house. So just following up, we have on Team China as skip, but throwing first rocks is Jialiang Zhang, and then we have throwing second rock Xiang Shu, and vice skip, and also throwing third rocks Dexing Ba, and then throwing fourth rocks is Xiaoming Xu. So quite a bit of surprise, I would say, the way that all the, I would say, the most favorite teams, starting with the defending masters of last year, Team Murdoch, also Team Brewster from Scotland, they didn't make it to the playoffs. Also top teams as Team Ulsrud, first time showing up here in Hamburg. They were close, but lost the last qualifier, so they couldn't make it either. And there are a couple of more, so the really world-class field here of competing teams. So once again, the other sheet is played by Team Ofev, and he's also not playing here himself. So Alexei Stuchalski is taking over the skip position. Team Ofev also facing some disease back home, but the way they entered, so we stayed to the team name like that. Russians had quite a good game last night versus Team Pfister. 10-5, the final score here. And it was quite a battle, quite close game between Team Smith and Team De Cruz, with the better end for Team Smith of Scotland, 6-4. And Norwegian, as we see here, Stefan Walstad holding the broom for Magnus Nedgrotten. They were having a really sovereign game against a Team Muad of Scotland, a young Scottish team. Had quite a run in the first qualifier, but couldn't keep up their momentum.
这边弧线大，让点点，再来一点也行，正常劲儿。非常紧，二，停。
So very defensive opening, but that's not a big a surprise. Often teams just want to make sure they, even in the morning games, just to get a little bit of feeling, loosen up the muscles and just get a good start, a confident start. Once again, we are very happy to have Joe Fritz, the German Curling Association, running the ice. Really good conditions. He's putting up here. It's always a little bit of challenge in club ice to get everything perfect. So teams are happy.
队长，走，我来吧。子强，子强。
So it's just an exchange of stones so far.
Litt freshere.
And this might be also a possibility to just promote a little bit the Curling Champions Tour website. Just type in curlingchampionstour.org and you will find all information around this championship tour. This blue one still bites the 12-foot circle. So the call is to a little bit of roll to the inside. And on the mentioned website, you also, oh, this one, not the wished roll, so this one is out. Quite opportunity, maybe to draw a little behind or corner freeze. Two options, I would say. Just make sure that you're not tapping it in and stay outside yourself. But probably, therefore, the Norwegians just draw to the other side. Just keep the hammer. That's probably the plan. I think the chances for probably he's trying. Let's see. Maybe he tries to get a piece behind the red one, or he's drawing to the open side. Cannot tell Markus Heuberg holding the stick, but no, it's the other turn, as I said. So they will draw to the open side. Just get away of this red one. Just make sure that there's no roll behind the red one for the Chinese team. Looks a bit heavy. That should for sure stay into the rings, but it doesn't. So that's quite a chance now for Xiaoming Su. He's throwing his last rock now. As you could see, he was starting now with the other rotation. Plays counterclockwise and tries to hide a little bit behind this corner guard, far out at the 12-foot. This really curls and doesn't look Oh no, it didn't curl. It stays straight, but they want to make sure that it's into the house. Okay. Well, this should be possible to go for the blank end here.
Vi har ju varit där lite så.
Håret mer.
So here comes the last down. They're going for the blank. And this might... No, stick. No, it all went well. Nice sweeping by Alexander Lindström. Keeps the line. So here's the blank. It all stays 0-0 before we start the second game. Second end, sorry.
Var det 13 blankt du sa hadde på den siste? 13,5. Jeg spurte også i går da vi begynte andre veien igjen, så var det ganske trått for starten andre veien.
So some analyzing of the rocks played so far in the Norwegian side. Probably the trying to get something on the scoreboard now. For sure not the single. They will go for the deuce at least. We'll see how this will open. As we can see, Chia Liang Sang plays the draw. So now we have a nice centered guard. And the Norwegians just not really trying to go behind. They will go for a corner guard. Alexander Lindström with his first one, throwing the intern.
Magnus nærmest.
Kjøla. Den kan sätta sig.
Begge to kan gå.
Helt upp.
Unfortunately, it won't sit before the house. So this is an option for hit and roll now for Team Liu. Throwing the intern as well. Clockwise rotation. Just missed it a little bit, but it will stay, I guess. Oh. I thought maybe there was a curl back into the 12-foot, but it hasn't been. So a good option again to throw the corner guard now again for Team Walstad. Here, Alexander Lindström with the second throw. So he for sure tries to be a little bit shorter now.
Få ut den. Magnus, hard. Hard, Magnus. Litt til.
Bra spill, Alex.
Bra.
Yeah. Good play by, good spiel, as I said, by Alexander Lindström. His brother, Christian Lindström, has been playing here in Hamburg for the first time with his new team, brand new, for the Swedish side. So this was called Team Lindström, but they couldn't make it to the playoffs. just started playing together this season.
明哥，他拉线了，他拉线了。二，
你俩可以有。
二，
他拉线。
明哥，二，
拉线。
二，
线路非常好。
二，
过里放啊。对。
Really nice come around now.
Yeah.
Well played
90. 90.
by Xiangshu.
Touch mindre, eller?
Okay.
Good sweeping, as you can see in the slow-mo here. Really close, passing the other red one. And really nice covered. So there's quite a bit of curl here in Hamburg,
Oh.
which is very much appreciated, not only by us watching, of course, by the players. Just a miss of this double takeout. They tried to run back the first red on the second one in the house and missed this one by millimeters, I would say.
Var jävligt nära.
Ja.
明哥带。
力量够，力量够，力量够，力量够。3区可以。有点大，有点大。还可以，3区。4。哎，还行，4。
啊。Ja.
Samme fart.
Maybe a little bit too long. So the distance less than a meter between these two red ones. So here's a good chance for playing the double by Magnus.
Lös!
Yep.
Lös!
Nick Grotten. Try to keep it straight here. And really nice, well played.
Har vi några tabletter i Brunberget eller? Ja.
Singel der.
Ska vi 4-5 9下9下
下线。
5-6
有点大。
5-6
等。我看下
6
了。等。
强6-7
力量大，力量大。后区来点。后区。二不让他打水。二，go。
简大吗？还是
稍微。15。哎。15。哎。
So the attempt to get this one covered behind the
Yeah,
blue guard. Didn't go the way the Chinese want. So this is quite an option to follow this pass. Markus Heuberg with a soft takeout. This also stayed quite centered. Not happy. That's a good option for Team Liu now to roll maybe behind the center guard. The only risk is that they run probably too deep. So I would say maybe giving them a piece behind the blue would be enough, not to roll too far, leaving up an open freeze. Because you're very close to the center line, to the T line, sorry. And this is a very bad shot from the result, I would say. Just started it a little bit, they couldn't get it by the blue one and ticked it in. So kind of change of the momentum right now.
Tre.
Look quite solid for the Chinese team.
Greit utover her oppover, så
Tre blank.
ja, sikkert ikke så mye forskjell.
Now possible chance even for 3.
Ja. Tipper det er
Marcus
13,5,
Højbjerg.
altså cirka 3 blank, 2,95.
Third stone. Try to draw to the left side out of his view. As you can see, rotation counterclockwise.
7 er bra!
Tries to
7,
get
8.
from this angle of the camera on the right hand side.
8-9.
Just splitting the house.
Helt baki der.
Sitt.
Okay.
Too long. No, that's not the use of chances you got.
Sorry.
So it's a little bit of back and forwards right now. You just overpaced this one. Remember, we're just playing the second hand of this German Masters semi-final, so the speed might get a little bit up now. The first tracks are already played, and you have to be very aware as a player. Did you put on the right weight? Probably on the more outside. It stops a little bit more. Anyway, here's the chance for the roll again. And as you can see, even with the other turn, he now can play the out turn. This also curls too much. There's a roll, but not to the side they wanted to. That's probably a little bit the difference to arena ice. So on this ice we have, of course, there's some curl, but it's depending on the way you really started. If you really straighten up, played very active, you might go really straight on. Just a little bit of finish in the end. But as you can see here, when you just started it in the rotation direction, they really curl a lot. So another time, a change of momentum here. Bit of advantage for the Chinese team before. And here, again, chance for a draw to the other side. Keeping up at least the chance for 2 now for Team Walstad in the second end.
Gjennom.
Sitter.
Setter.
Vänta.
Åpner det.
Ja, bare sett den her en plass. Ja, langt bak. Med linja. Bare gå.
Okej, wow. Helvete, vad dålig koll vi har.
Wrong på en.
Alexander Lindström tries to sweep it in the back house,
Jag vill liksom gå hela tiden, ja.
as it was not curling too far to the left-hand side. Just then make sure that it's not an easy hit and roll anywhere near the forefoot. Anyway, Team Walstad line 2 now. And it's already the last stone now for Xiaoming-Su, who throws the 4th rock for Team China. Quite a bit of weight now. Want to hit it really high. But this was a little bit too high, too centered. And more or less a hit and stay. So open takeout for 2 now to take over the lead in this semi-final of the German Masters.
Spiller vanlig.
Ja.
Vanlig.
Jag är nere lite, ja. Så.
Slightly correction. A little bit more ice was wished by Stefan Walstad. So Marcus Højbjerg just put the broom a little bit to the left-hand side from this perspective. So get into the tunnel. Just an easy hit and stay. Easy, of course, marked. for these guys should be
Wow.
9-5.
no big challenge.
Wow.
Bra fart.
Just be focused. This looks very, very controlled. And here you go. 2 counters after this second hand plate. Though Team Walstad takes over the lead 2-0 after 2 hands played. They took advantage of keeping the hammer from the very first hand.
Ja. Do it.
Må gjøre det tavlegreia da, som de ville at
Er det glatt
I have to
ute,
say,
eller
this
er det
team
like
is
glatt inn på midten, tror
undefeated
du?
so far this year. They're really,
følelsen av at
really
det kan
very
bli litt
solid
glatt.
curling.
Det er godt med så mange langs midten, liksom teika og sånn.
All the way
Det er
through.
kanskje litt glattere
Utover foreløpig.
foreløpig. Litt grann. Det er ikke glatt, det er ikke tross der når de dro med senter her, ikke sant?
Ja.
Var det sånn, det virker ganske greit da.
Ja, den garden deres nesten veien var jo 15-10 på min klokke.
Ja, jeg også. Og så splittet de på rundt. Her 0-1 og 0-5 og 1 og
Ja.
bak.
Det begynner nok å bli ganske bra overalt. Hvert. Tror du det? 4?
4.
5-6. Linja er bra. Bare fart.
Vent da.
5-6. Markus nærmest.
Bra linje.
Linja er bra. Linja er der. 5-6. Hold den i gang.
So defensive opener of Team Walstad.
Bra.
Draw to the rink. A little bit short here by Alexandra Lindström. And Xiaoliang Sang
3.
now
倒刷子。
throwing
下路可以。
the corner guard.
1、2。
Just watching the team playing now.
下一线能够再下一
They
点。
were having, I want to say up and down, but they were having 2 wins in the round robin and just a loss against the other semi-finalist, Team Smith from Scotland. So 2-7, the Chinese team lost this one. And then another straight win against Team Brunner, qualified as second place team in the group. And then they had the loss in the first qualification game versus Team Pfister from Switzerland, 4-6, and then they keep on going.
Har plass.
One
Masse
versus
plass.
the
Magnus må gå. Markus med det. Sorry.
2,5.
Linja er bra nå.
Universe 8,
Passe
team
2,5,
of
3.
Team Canada, Team Squires.
Japp. Fight og tørr. Fight og tørr.
They're going for Almaty, starting their trip from Hamburg on Tuesday morning.
Bra.
Wishing them best of luck, of course, at their University World Championships. And then the Chinese team, they won their quarterfinal against the undefeated team Eskilsson from Sweden, 5-3. And here they are in the semi-final of this year's German Masters.
Hold! Go, go, go!
And giving you a live update of the other sheet, it's like a 2-0 lead by Team Smith. They took also advantage, so quite parallel to this game. Blank ant in the first, and then they took the 2.
Under huvudverksamheten.
Andre sida.
Nei.
Vanlig.
Vanlig.
Excuse me. Do you have any painkillers? Do you have any painkillers?
Hardt. Rent.
For headache?
Rent.
Pills?
Oh.
Rent. Bra der. Jeg trodde den skulle sitte, så det var dårlig bedømming.
Hvor koster det ikke, Steffen?
Det blir 3 egentlig.
Hæ?
Det blir 3.
Ok.
Det ble greit da, men hvis det rullet litt til, så hadde det ikke vært så bra. vet ikke om det...
Xiangshu throwing the out turn.
往那边甩在上面。明哥下去下去。
So they
Right.
wanted to roll a little bit to the other side, but couldn't make this.
Koster.
So Team Walstad quite in control now. Can play defensive third end. Keep up placing their stones the way they want to, and
Hard!
no really good option for Tilju to put up their deuce. And this is a nice shot played by Magnus Netgrotten. Roll
Hvor mye løs er den da?
behind the guard.
Ja, jeg fikk den ikke. Sorry.
Ok.
3秒。
It's just a question if you really would want to roll behind the corner guard if you're not keeping the hammer. And we'll see. But first of all,
这边下的滑。
Xiangsu needs a really good roll himself.
不掉。
Whoa!
明哥，
No! 往边去打，
还是打这边吧，这边好一点，这边稍微送点就飘，是吧？
Fin force, dra ut
Vi
kanskje.
har 4 sand igjen. Liksom.
Ligger ikke å dra inn, eller? Der, ja.
Bak
Ende.
4 her.
Ja.
Ok.
Uansett om de tar 2 så är det 3:e, så känns fint.
Ja, sant.
Eller?
Jeg er helt enig.
Slå av litt fra spillet her, i hvert fall.
Ja.
3-1, prøver det. Det er
8-9. 8 er
Skal 8.
perfekt.
Må gå! 5, 6.
Kom igjen, gå da.
Hele veien.
Japp. Kom igjen, Magnus.
Hard sweeping.
Hard!
Alexander Lindström and
Hard litt til, så ikke får dobbelt, kom igjen.
Ok.
Magnus Netgrotten. They want to separate these two draws, so
Jeg så ut som
Marcus
om
Højbjerg
noe
is a
var
little bit
litt
struggling in his draw weight.
他不往
You
没有
remember
啊？太平了，把他甩吧，OK。
two of them went through the rings, now a little bit short here.
行。
No, quite a good separation between the two blue ones. Might be a chance for a double takeout, but at least for a hit and roll behind this red and blue on the right-hand side. Texin Bar.
看一下。
往二，到底。
This is a hard line sweeping. This looks a little bit overcurled and just stayed there. But shot rock.
Begge da. Så er vi tilbake. I rett.
15.
Ok.
Litt løs. 11
Ja.
blank.
Japp.
11 blank. 11-5.
Japp.
11 blank.
Hold. Japp. Hard.
Magnus.
Go.
This was quite a good one. A little bit separation now on the same level. You can see in the front house.
Shit, det er dårlig meldt.
Could roll maybe a little bit
Yeah.
more far out to the right-hand
这
side.
边稍微直一点啊。
行，
But
3秒。
还是一样的劲儿，还是长线吧，稍微
刚才
放点
的那个劲儿。
and as you can see here, if you go for the hit and roll, as the Chinese call is now, you need to go for more than 2 meters after the hit. Not an easy shot.
小心。
Texting bar again.
带一点，二。
Sweepers try to keep them straight, get the right spot to hit, and this overcurled again.
Sorry.
Yeah, of course he's not very satisfied. It's not really bad throwing, but just the result is not
De har lært seg
the
å slå
one
med
he
kostene.
wanted.
Ja. Man var i Canada.
Jeg har vært mye i Canada.
Det är så man blir bra. Ska vi göra?
15 eller litt til på siden. Han kommer til å dra rundt, og så må vi fryse etter da. Så vi må følge med på fakta.
Ja.
Ti-fem.
10-8!
Stefan Walstad
Rent, japp.
now going again for a hit. Another time try to roll a little bit to the side.
11 blank. 11 blank.
They might even
Bra.
go for a straight hit here.
11-5.
Leaves the option for a double takeout, of course.
Det passer.
But this has to be played further. And if maybe the camera goes up again, we can see really here, thanks to the production, you can see really there's a risk of that the second one, the second blue behind the corner guard. If you go for the first one on the right hand side, then to the left one, and then you might risk a jam on the outer rink. That's quite a risk.
打一半。
So not a easy double takeout at all. You really have the precise
这个打一半
spot to
一
hit,
小半，打完可能往下滑一点。OK，
but they try.
一小半最好。
So maybe hit the first one a little bit thinner and hit the second one also a little bit on the left side, a little thinner there. And hope that the shooter maybe rolls a little bit to the back house, but that's really difficult. And as it looks like this overcurls as well. Well, not bad, really. But it's hard to tell, but I would say like the blue one on the left-hand side should be shot rock. So actually it was another alternative B, probably not planned, but if the blue one, as you can see, hit here to full, but then quite good momentum. The blue one needed a little bit more energy. Dexinbar couldn't sweep it in the end, was before T-line, and so nobody's really sure.
Riktig. Ja, hvis strengene er riktig.
Vi drar uansett, eller?
Pilen av og gi en blanken. Det er en lett blank eller?
I would say if they would be sure that the blue one is
I'm med på
shot
drag,
rock, they
ja.
would easily go for a draw, but as they are not sure,
Nej, men vi drar väl uansett.
Jeg
they
synes det er
have
veldig
to
bra.
be really sure
Det
to
värsta
get
vi kan tappa
the
är
last
två.
one
Er korrekt, så er
well
Ja, helt
covered,
enig.
to not giving the Chinese team
Ja,
a
men vi
chance
drar
for
väl
making
uansett.
cue.
Ja, det er bare skulle oss hjem noe sånn dobbeltkombo her.
Han får inte bort våran utan att stöta i.
Han måler. Så hvis ringene ikke er 100%, så kan det være to, liksom. Da er det ikke safe å dra dit, da.
Hvis stringene er 100%, så er det blå.
Ja, og jeg er helt
Jag
enig.
liker bara...
Uansett om vi drar hit eller dit, så får han dra for én.
Ja, men hvis vi drar hit, så kan han ikke sjekke på mål for to, da.
So the Norwegians talking about that
Vi har
they're a little
drag, om
afraid
de
if they
vill.
draw
Vi har
behind the
drag in.
corner guard, they might be too narrow together with all three blue. And there might be a triple takeout, so they want to make sure that
Greit å ha nok.
with the right
greit å ha nok.
range, the triple takeout is not there, so not too long,
Men faen,
not probably
Hvis det er luft, så får
biting
han jo
the
spilt
8 foot
dobbelen for to,
in
da.
front, but covered a little bit, that would be a good option.
ja, men
So it looks like that they are
Sats på å gjøre
quite
flik.
optimistic
Säg det, annars
that
drar vi bara ut.
so far they're lying shot rock.
Nå bedt oss jo på at ringene ikke er korrekt, da. For hvis ringene er korrekt, så
But
er
as they are not
Ja, men
100%
jag
vet vad
sure,
det
gör
är
väl ganska bra.
Det-
Då han drar mot 1,5 då.
won't draw to the open side.
Faen, dra open side, du, Markus.
Okej.
Okay,
Drar den, man.
just said so and they decided the other way.
Litt mer i det, så
Så-
er det et bedre spor for oss.
They say, well, we are shot rock, they decided, and now we
Samme
go
som
for
jeg
the
spilte
open
her,
side.
Litt mindre, den var jo
Ja,
uavklart.
nesten
And
litt,
putting up
litt
the
mindre.
force.
Det er ganske fint.
So hope they have good eyes to decide
keys.
this, but I guess they have. So Out-turn draw to the open side.
Føles greit. Føles greit. Skjold.
Han har en dubbel här också
Kjennes lang ut.
om vi inte är på
10
tid.
pluss. Sikk på 8.
Vi er der.
It's quite a good weight.
Spill.
Just no double takeout here.
Det är lite råare över linan.
Ja.
Also, the Xiaoming Xu is now checking. It's a really close
我不是
decision.
先打一会儿聊。
不对，现在肯定是打定是
Of
定。
course, they cannot measure right now.
Okay.
For those of you who probably joined. And also ein Guten Morgen nach Deutschland, Sport Deutschland TV.
Ah, ja.
Schaut natürlich auch zu. So apologize when we switch at least a little bit for the welcome
Ah,
to
ja,
German
ja, ja.
viewers
行。
on the
然
other
后
channel.
我那个就查一下，是不是小一点点的？
But of course, we stay here to the international audience. So you're listening to Uli Cup this morning. And hope you enjoy the program so far.
好，现在小一点。
This co-production
小的
of
可以翻了。
World
可以
Curling
可以
TV
哦
Curling Champions Tour. So
2 clean
it's a nice move the
小一
World
点
Curling
哦
Federation putting up to
哦
featuring
clean clean。
可以量一下。
some dedicated curling champions to this event. So here's the single, maybe, or is it even more? I think we see a measurement now. Please make sure, Markus Heuberg, that you don't touch the blue one here. Looked like a little bit. So Alexander Lindström already is ready. So we ask the players here to take care of themselves. I like this very much. It's not always a need to have umpires here. When it gets close, they
think?
ask for assistance. Of course, there will be somebody stepping in to help them in the decision.
Stefan said, it's blue. It's okay. I don't know. Or else, Stefan.
So, the question, is it just a single, or it might be with the red here on the right-hand side better, lying to the middle, to the center,
Drum roll.
that it might be the deuce. But as it was good eyes from the Norwegian team, it's the blue. Good decision. So it's a new score now from 2-1. The lead by Team Walstad. But it was close, as you can see. Here, Xiaoming Xu showcases with the fingers. Just some millimeters missing for the deuce.
都行，试试也行。
逆时他把握点。
So,
我告诉你来，我
3 ends played in this German Masters semi-final in the Curling Club Hamburg. And also live update from the other sheet. It's Team Timofeyev from Russia playing Team Smith. And after
聊绿球了啊。
3 ends played, it's still the same score. Lead 2-0 by Team Smith. So there was a blank end in the third.
接
Definitely sure for now, it will be a new master this year in Hamburg.
1
The defending champion, 2-time master winner, Team Murdoch,
2再来点
couldn't make it
再来点再来点
to defend their title from last year. 2 losses were too much to reach the playoffs. And when you're interested in the history and a little bit of nice pictures taken here from this event, just visit the website www.curling/masters.de. You will find schedules, team pictures, live scoring rankings, a lot more, and also some history who won the Masters. but also can
Ja,
tell
långt
you right
ute.
away. So we have
Nei, ikke så galt. Det er
last
litt
year I told you
aggressivt
already,
bare, men
2016 it was
Det er
Team
greit.
Murdoch
Kan gärna bli som en ny slide.
and runner-up Team Kim from Korea, and Team Edin on the shirt third place together with Team Michael.
1、3，差不多，
差不多3、
Sven Michel is not playing with the Team Adelboden anymore.
3、4、
It's just also Team Pfister.
3、4、5，差一场。
加油，等等等，
Yeah, lost the quarterfinals
二，
下一下下，下一下。
last night.
二，
Then also like
go, 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 go,
the
go,
winner
go,
of
go. 再来一点，
2015,
再来一点。
Team Boccia from Canada.
Sorry.
They also lost their qualification game to enter the quarterfinals. Then we have also Team Michel winning 2014. 2013 it was Team Murdoch, as I told you before. And the first winner of the first ever German Masters 2012 was Team George. It was a little bit of mixture of all US players here, along with Craig Brown, Tyler George, Rich Ruonen and Colin Hufman. They won the premiere of this German Masters, and for sure from the organizing part on behalf of the German Curling Association and Curling Club Hamburg and myself, along with other many volunteers and people involved running this event. We hope we can proceed for the next years, especially next year would be nice just before the Olympics start in South Korea in Pyeongchang. It'd be nice to welcome again a top-class field of players. So we work hard to make this happen. But now back to the game.
长线，二，往里甩，明哥，明哥，二。
Nice double takeout. So Team Liu is lying 2 now. It's not a very offensive style game. As you can see, we're very much in control of both sides. Not too many rocks in play. Quite symptomatic playoff game, I would say. Everybody tries to keep in control, not too risky. But actually, I like it. It's a more strategic game. But we'll see. It's just the first half. The hit and roll is called. Hard line sweeping, and to keep this in line, and the shooter stays but rolls too far, so quite narrow, these two reds.
11 eller 12.
Could be an option to just draw, as the two reds are all over T-line, but there's no need for a Norwegian team right now. They could go on with the more defensive style, play takeout, even the slide, hit and roll just in front of the second red one in the back house would be nice. Or playing the double takeout. And as it looks, it's more on the right-hand side. And no, this was not the result they want to go. Just jam. And they lose the shooter.
稍微差一点。
现在点稍微有点大啊，
稍微差点小。
掉线，
来，
下线，先往3区，大一点边，别进深，还行，一波别进深，别进深。
Of course, they want a little bit more of turn, a little bit more covered. And this stays mainly open. Chance for a double takeout, or when it overcurls, maybe rolling behind. But the problem is, then you're not shot rock and maybe lying in the line for getting to the back one. So better play the double takeout now. Markus Heuberg. Alexander Lindström needs to keep it straight, but again, not a really good shot. Don't want to blame Markus Heuberg, but it's not his game so far, I would say. Quite some misses at the beginning on the draw side, and now this takeout on the guard. And as I said before, I think that's maybe a little bit the difference. It's just a huge gap. It's not like on arena ice. You have like a steady curl. You can wait until the breaking point comes and the rocks start. Here on this ice, it's just maybe you just straighten up, as we could see when Markus Netgotten was playing before. You push it a little bit to the outside, and it never really curls. And on the other hand, when you start it a little bit like Markus Heuberg, you're overcurling, you're on the guard. This is a bit too long. But now Markus Heuberg has at least a chance to get rid of the front two. And rolling a little bit to the left-hand side. That would be a good option to open up the middle, the center. So maybe his out turn is more in it. I think the red one is not touching the 12-foot. So the middle is open, but the question is this still a counter? It doesn't look like. So Chinese team is thinking of either come around a little bit, just in the front 12, covering the draw a little bit, or maybe tapping in, or even like splitting in both two red would be an option. But the first call, the first option would be just hide maybe a half of the rock. Make sure that we just lie front house. We don't want to go too deep into the house. Not leave the Norwegians any freeze. Yeah, you could listen. They want to go for hiding 2 quarters. Maybe that will be the perfect shot. So it's again Xiaoming Xu with the last rocks for his team. As their skip, Ryu Liu, is having a cold, lying in the hotel, not able to play. Just had 2 games here over the weekend. This stays a little bit too open. Nice weight played.
Den ut.
Ja.
Det greit å bare gjemme en flik, liksom.
Det liker jeg. Lettere å få blanken da, hvis du ruller perfekt foran. Ja, det.
Har det mye luft da?
Nei. Veldig lite. 5% luft i forhold til en stein.
Tror du det liksom...
Det er så godt som kant til kant, altså. Så mye.
Liten så tenker jeg stedet. Ja, ser jeg.
Yeah, there is a little bit of room in between the corner guard and the rock just plate, so they were thinking there's an option of rolling behind the corner guard, but this is quite a risk if you're on the guard
Så er den foran den andre og
and
gjør
missing a rock in the house. So I would recommend either maybe tapping this one or rolling in front of the red one. I think this is the call now. As you can see, there is some place between guard and the rock plate before, but they're going instead of the roll to the inside in front of the rock back in the house. I think as they're having the lead, there's no need to really overpace to take too much risk right now. They could also go with a single here.
12 blank.
10-5.
10-5.
Just make sure that you get rid of one now and don't risk any steal here at this point of the game. So here's the hit and here's the roll, perfectly executed right now. Just the one he wanted.
12 blank.
长线吗？还是那个还小一点？长线稍微小一点啊。现在还可以。
So quite a challenge now for the last stone of Team China. Xiaoming Xu tries to hit the blue one, but needs to hit it a little bit on the side, and well executed, well played. Also nice weight, soft takeout. Keeps the shooter, putting up the force. Don't think they go for blanking this end. It's too much risk. Just play a hit and stay now. I think the takeout for playing the blank might be there, but too much risk.
Bare en touchløs, liksom. Det var ikke noe å snakke om.
Yeah. As said
Keep
and
on.
as expected.
Hard.
No risky try for blanking. Just make sure that you hit this one straight. Get the single. Take back the lead of 2 stones. Well played. So here you go. It's a 3-1 lead after 4 ends played in this German Masters semi-final. Brought to you by World Curling TV and Curling Champions Tour.
Jeg sto med ryggen til og bare så ut. Stod Alex sånn her bak seg, og du bare... Alex og sånn.
And there's also a live update on the other sheet. We have at least a single for Team Timofeyev of Russia. They could score a single in the 4th end, so it's a lead by 2-1 by Team Smith as they're going also into the 5th end.
2 upp efter 4, då är det ute. Halva, fokus.
Topp 4.
Okay, I was just thinking, what is Xia Liang-Sang doing? But I think the 3 has holding in his head on the scoreboard. He was somehow lost. It's a little bit confusing for the teams. We have 2 different kind of scoreboards here in Hamburg. the traditional ones where you count the standing in the center line and just hanging up the ends. And of course, on the TV sheet here on sheet 2, we brought in another one. Now there's a change.
这个可以稍微高一点，这边弧
It's
线好
funny,
不
the
太大。
3 is hanging here. Now the total, that's right. Well done. Stefan Walstad. He is in charge of this.
二级，
And actually it was not
尽量到
Jiang
刷
Sang,
子。
so it was
二，
think
劲儿太小了。Go go go go
Xiao
go
Ming
go
Xu.
go。进就行。再来一点，再来一点。
Anyway, doesn't matter. Corner guard a little bit too short. It's a question what value has this guard. You can see here, far in front of the house.
That's perfect. Håll igång, Magnus.
And on this swinging ice should be not a problem, even if you hide
Håll igång,
there.
Magnus. Lägg den nära.
Always possibility to get to the
Hårt,
come
Flick.
around.
Hårt.
But for the moment, the Norwegian team tried to place the stones in the center, cover the one in the front, and Alexander Lindström is facing some pain, having some headache, told me before, and you could see it in one picture we show you, just sitting there, not feeling so well. Hope he finds his way through his semi-final. Would be quite a success. The Norwegians have been for many years here playing in Hamburg, but never made it to the final. So far, had some good results, quarterfinals.
Ja. Det här blir jag. Jag får ta det. Jag får som感觉还要自己。像战友。减速人。
1,5, 2.
So he's asked to play another guard. Just a 2 in the weight. That means just halfway to the house, passing the hawk line and going 2 meters more maybe. Close the center, though this might be a little bit short. But over hawk line.
啊？
断指那个掐了吗？
他那个没啥参考性，我真没掐他呢，我以为14秒头，基本上14秒头就差不多。稍微小一点，我感觉还行。极限。
Hard. 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 Go, 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 go. Hard. 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 再来点这个。你可以点，可以点，明哥，可以点。14秒7。
A little bit too short. This attempt of a freeze.
我那个太大，我怕
这边比那边40多，对吧？还是往那边打也不一样。
我一下把正好传一个。我怕万一。Perfect. Då får de 2 stenar för ens komma dit. 2-3.
Når jeg først gjør det, så blir jeg liggende stein i huset.
Nervøs, da, gutt?
Det er det. 2,5!
Ja, det er fint.
Han peker over kosen. Han skulle
Lägg
se.
på, lägg på lite. 10 där.
2,5.
Henger ute.
Linja er bra.
Nei, han er veldig langt ute.
3.
Ligger ikke bra i hele tatt.
Wow.
3.
Det er rundt hvis det er mulig.
Hvor er han?
5.
Ja. Ja. Markus.
Markus.
Ja. Markus.
Hard. Go. Litt stille.
Yeah, really nice attempt. Also a little bit slow though. There's a double takeout chance. As Magnus Edgrotten came up just a little bit short. You can see the blue one
先给他找掉，
open.
先找掉为主。OK。
再让一点点。
啊，我感觉也是。
So in this end, finally, more rocks in play. The Chinese take a little bit more risk. So far, it's not really paying off. They need a double now. That would be really changing this momentum of the end. The Norwegians not too precise. It leaves
保一点。
Team Liu the chance now, but this is too far outside. No total miss here. And another example of what happens if you maybe just straighten up a little bit overpace this rock, and there's no curl on this. Not expected, and that's a huge miss.
Är det bättre att vara här ute liksom? På garden?
Her, tenkte jeg.
Helt öppen?
Vi
Ja,
må
det
gå
var
ned.
jo
Vi må
tynn
gå ned
dobbel
dobbelt.
eventuelt
Det er
da.
det som er
Den er
farlig.
vanskelig, men
Vi må vara exakt tänkte jag. Bara så vi vet.
So the call is playing the guard.
Hold i gang, du da.
Just
2,5.
protect the situation in the house. Leave
Bra fart.
the opponents
Ja,
the difficult shot. Keep it simple on your side. It's also quite a good situation when if you're sitting in this.
Jag ville veta
You have a
exakt
good
bara. Så vi inte
setup
galar
in
men
the
ger dem
house.
dömen igen.
Defend it. Not going too wild. After the miss before,
找的那个篮子营里边，
quite a bit of challenge for Team China to open up the center here. I would say that will be the first priority, going on the front one. But I would say this is the better angle. Hit on the left side and then taking the
应该还是往原心走。
guard on the right-hand side, and better angle for the other ones. A lot of more options. I think this was a good switch of call. So hitting the first one from the player's point of view on the left-hand side. Now when the camera changes now, we can see it's a hitting point on the right side. Here you can see a little bit. And hit the first one too much in the center. We'll see if the middle is open. Not really.
Midt på linja.
Shooter almost stays there.
Ja.
Litt grann. Det var det jeg følte.
Team
Det var så
China
mye når jeg
still in
begynte opp.
danger.
Ganska samma.
They're 2 down, and the Norwegians lying 2 now.
Håll ut den lite.
Linja er bra. 2.
Så!
They are able to keep the pressure on.
Så! Kom gå!
Ok. Linja er grei.
Risk för över kanske. Bara på linan.
Og spill.
Perfekt.
Spill.
Bra.
So the gap is closed again.
这个我要是
Team Liu really needs a run now. Question's just if you go via the blue one or you try to raise back the red one here, but that's a really long way, about 5 to 6 meters. Or is there any chance for playing a draw to get somewhere? But I don't think so.
这个有可能把俩张也打开，你感觉呢？
就说现在你找着这有一个4号，他再从那边站一个的话，我都没法投啊。
那现在唯一这是个机会。
So team decision.
但是现在这个球其实挡着这样，就是主要要是能把3号打开，我要这样呢，找这俩站位呢。
我感觉还是先中线来吧，现在中线能找着刮着刮着。
Still 3 rocks to go for Team China.
这样。
Team Liu,
抓不着再分开，他还得站。
Harbin, in the northeast of China.
一大片呗。
And they decided to run the just played blue one back to their own red ones and try to raise one of these red ones back to the blue ones in the house. It's Dexin Bar's second stone. I think this is definitely the right call. Also, you just need to make sure to hit it a little bit on the right-hand side out of this perspective. And they really need this one. Looks good, looks good. Nice shot with a bit of luck. There was a slight contact. Maybe we see the slow-mo of this again. So they almost hit it perfectly at the beginning, and then you can see on the red, and then there was on the first blue one a little bit of contact, give him a momentum back to the shot rock. So at least the forefoot is open again, in the meaning of nobody's lying there. Really nice. Thanks to the production, we see it again. Really good. Also the red one rolls out, but they don't care about this. This is really a safer, I would say, at the moment. And leaves. Stefan Walstad. Quite an important shot now. He needs to make sure to pass the guard, and quite a bit of hit and stay now. Centered would be nice. Then line maybe 2. We'll see what happens. A little bit outside, needs a little bit of curl. He's pointing out. But this looks very controlled. Yeah, that's where they want to have it. And as you can see, I think the one blue on the right-hand side biting the 8-foot, that's for sure the shot rock. And I think the red one in the back should be second place stone, but the one in front just played is in a good position.
只要把头甩过来就行，迎他边上那个斜就行。
打这个，
喂，
前门打甩走吧。
我感觉打甩好一点。
长一些，可以。
甩过来迎他那边上了。对。
你要奔这个的话，长一些，反正俩球方向能出去。
前门甩头。
我感觉甩头就行，要不然打定的话，他再补站位没有地方投了。你感觉呢？
It's interesting. They really think they have quite a good option to go for a hit and roll here. Maybe even a light double. We'll see what happens. Maybe really need to keep it in line. Passing the guard, that works. So this is good. And here you go. Lucky in the end. Of course, if you hit it a little bit more on the left-hand side, there was double to hit the second blue in the front as well. But here they were lucky that the stone hit. It's not jamming on the own too much on the back.
ser litt på utsida der, eller?
So quite an interesting end. This fifth end of the German Masters in Hamburg.
Rulle inn til senter.
Ja, rull, ja. Akkurat kant til kant med senteret, det optimalt?
Vad mer du,
But
Magnus?
after this shot, now hardly a chance for China getting the deuce
Är det samma?
to tie the game here. But of course, it's all depending on this shot now. I think it's an open takeout, a little bit roll to the left-hand side, shot, or close the door, close the draw line for Xiaoming Su, throwing the last rock for Team Liu.
Bra lir.
Very well played, and there's of course some pressure on. You can see Stefan Walstad probably would like to have his takeout played a little bit more roll to the inside, a little bit more roll to the center. But still, it lies in the way for the draw against 3 blue rocks. So quite a bit of pressure for Xiaoming Su, who throws last rock for Team China. He needs to make sure that he fully gets this rock to the 8-foot. Line looks good. Weight maybe a little bit heavy. But no. Very well played. Very well played. Really good shooting by Xiaoming Su. So it's not the deuce, but at least a single for Team China. They keep in play. They keep themselves in play. So we have a 3-2 lead after 5 ends played. We're showing you the German Masters semi-final between Team Walstad from Norway and Team Liu from China. And also some updates from the other sheet. And there's another score of Team Smith. They are in lead 3-1 after 5 ends played. So we keep you updated for sure also of this semi-final.
Det enda jag tänkte var att det var liksom, i värsta fall hade vi pilen öppen här.
Ja, vi hade.
Fint att forsa. Use the force.
May the force.
Ja.
3，到刷子。月亮给我3刷子。尽量给我刷子。小点。2。go，到翻身。OK。
So, starting the 6th end, and it's a 3-2 lead by Team Norway. Alexander Lindström playing. And joining me for this moment is Marcel Rock, coach of Team China. Hello, Marcel.
I'm good, Willie. Thanks for inviting me to come down and join you here for the telecast for a little bit. Yeah, we're having a good tournament here.
Yeah, really, they show that just 2 losses so far. They finding their way throughout the playoffs, having a semi-final. I think it has been 2 or 3 years ago where Team China also like playing
the final.
The final already, yes.
Yes, so our second time here and a wonderful event. You run a wonderful tournament here, and you know, we really enjoyed coming here a couple of years ago. Yeah, we lost to Sven Michel, I believe,
yes.
in the finals, and this year an interesting tournament for us. For those of you that have followed Team China before, we normally see Liu Rui skipping. But unfortunately, some of the team members got sick this weekend, and fortunately, Team China travels with 5 players, so we can still field a team of 4. So we're very pleased with the results that we've had this weekend.
So it was 2014. I was looking up. I was not sure about that. So 2014, you played the final,
Right?
and you ended up as runner-up.
Right.
The Team de Cruz was.
Oh, was it De Cruz?
No, it was not. That's Team Michael, and you were 3rd place. That is semi-final, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, yeah.
so there
Anyway,
you go.
it's just history. We're in the now. We're in the present now, and it's good. It's a good chance. I think your team is still in the position. It's just like a little bit struggling. Couldn't take the advantage somehow.
Well, you know, we yesterday we had 3 very difficult games. We lost the first one against Switzerland.
Pfister was, yeah. It was the first qualifier.
Right. And it was the last rock. He made a great shot with his first. So we had a very, very hard-fought battle there. And then the second game we played against the Canadian Squire, the Universiade team. And we went to an extra end there. And then last night we played a very, very difficult game again. So I think the boys, were happy considering we moved players like my leads skipping and throwing, like we've got different positions going. So we're very satisfied that we were able to qualify, let alone play this well.
Even you could say, I just told before, like Xiaoming Su really played a really excellent draw. It was a really precious shot, and just really the way he released, very cool, very down to earth, and just like executed. Like that's the way you have to do it, and it's actually good. And it's not his position usually.
Right, and you played third your whole life, and you've skipped a lot on your own as well. But it's a different feeling throwing that draw to T-line as a third than it is as a skip, and. So yeah, he's performed very well, and he said to me he threw skips rocks maybe 10 years ago, just a little bit, so he's never really skipped. And now the reason that I have my lead holding and calling the game is so that he can just worry about trying to throw the rock like he would as a third.
I think I totally agree on. This is one of the things. It's just also the whole team, or the game rhythm you have is different on the positions. It's totally different, and sometimes it's tough when you sweep it and then drawing the last stone or playing the last stone. This totally different momentum. So I think it's a quite good thing, and see like what. Watching Magnus, Nick Rotten here playing, I think they're really very consistent in their way. They had an excellent season so far. It's their 6th consecutive
event
and they've qualified. They really have quite a run so far.
Yep. Well, and they've been around a long time. They're a very good team, and you know, it's never surprising to see these guys advance because, as you say, they're consistent and they make a lot of shots.
Yeah, that's like they qualify for Baden Masters, Swiss Cup, Champery, Original 16 in Calgary, DCalp, Superspiel, and then Purse Masters now Hamburg. They're really on the road, but what's still missing, and they're in the runner-up position after Team Ulsrud in Norway. It's quite a challenge, but I think that the future will be there.
It looks good for the next series of years with a Norwegian team like this looking as solid as they do. You know, and in this game, if we really think about this game, you know, Team China has only been in position of control maybe 2 ends, and we played 6. We played 6+ ends, so they are consistent, and they're consistent from lead to skip, and they put pressure on. And if you make a couple little mistakes, then they make it difficult for you. So. You know, this is a situation where again they're hitting to lay 2, and then they're in control of this end, and we're struggling to try to get that rock in the right place to try to regain a little bit of momentum. So
it's just to keep on the pressure on the opponent, and right now it's just to giving the opponent some momentums.
Right.
But I think it's my impression of the whole thing. Both teams were struggling a little bit in the beginning. They were starting very defensive, okay, in control, which is okay, but like the game is a little bit, how to say, living by mistakes by each other.
Right.
Not really, but is really placing the stone right there where they want it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And you know, you're in a semi-final, and you've played many big events as well. You know, you play to qualify, and you play more aggressive. You play different games, and then when you get to that point where if you lose, you're out, or you get to those World Championship games or those big money games, and teams sometimes don't play to win anymore. They play to not lose.
Yeah.
And this is very, very common.
Oh, that would be a great shot.
Yeah.
Just a really nice, close to the passing the guard, but then missed the second one. But that would be just a bonus, I would say.
Well, and again, you say.
Just see, that was an important one to get by this guard, but then a little bit less hit on the first one and missed the second one. That would be a huge one.
Right.
But, so your team is still in.
Well, yeah, and that's curling too, right? You miss by a quarter of an inch, you know, a couple millimeters, and you're great or you're not. A wonderful display of curling in the sense that we look at it and we say, oh wow, if he makes that, they're laying 3, and all of a sudden he misses just by a very little margin, and if we make this good, now the pressure's on them. But again, another mistake.
Just piece. The weight was not too bad, but just like two less curl in the end, and then you leave the opportunity to get rid of this red one again.
Right, and now the pressure can be back on Team China if they if Norway executes the shot very well. I think you know, for most of the games that you've televised, I think there have been some games that have gone really one way, and some games that have been very good. But I think it's a credit to for most part, most of the games have been really, really well played or close, and I think it's a credit to the event here and the ice and the ice makers and the. You know, everything is.
Thanks, Marcel. I will forward this to the whole crew. But
it's true. Everything is conducive here to results and to good results for good teams. And look, Norway's having a very fantastic. Oh wow. Oh wow. There's a turn in events.
Yeah.
Maybe we can say Happy New Year for the Chinese.
Probably. It's
Chinese New Year celebration.
Later, yeah. When is it now?
Well, it starts. I think, you know, in the next day or two.
Okay.
It's already, the celebration's already started in China. So.
And already started here now.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe
we'll see.
Maybe it's going to be a good New Year for them.
So here, a changer of this end by a mistake now. So.
And still, there's no guards in front, so you know there's lots of rocks to come yet, and Norway possibly have a good chance to score their one, but
keeps your team anyway in the driving seat somehow.
Yeah,
to change this semi-final. I think it's still a close one, 2-3. Of course, not having the hammer, but make sure that either going for a steal if the chance is there, or just. Letting Norway forcing one, that would be just a good option.
Yeah, you force one, take 2 and 7, and then you got a chance to steal the final end, or if you steal here, then you force them, and you need your 2 coming in the final end. You know, we just changed our team in beginning of January with 1 new player, and so. Everything is
who's
shifted.
on? Sorry for interrupting. But who's new on? This is
Ba
Daxon Bars in again.
Yeah, he's back with us.
Yeah.
He's concentrating on mixed doubles this year. They won a silver medal last year, and so his primary objective is
mixed doubles.
But we felt that he would add a lot to our team. He's a very good thrower and a very, very good team player. He fights hard.
I think he's a very good, from the spirit, good player.
He fights hard for his teammates, and he brings a lot of energy and passion to the team. So we were missing a little bit of that, and it was since he's arrived, we've qualified three events, 2 out of the 3 semifinals, and this one especially impressive because, like I said, our skip has gone down to injury or to illness, sorry, and he's stepped up and played third, and so yeah, as a coach, I'm very, very satisfied with where we are right now as a team, and moving away from this event, we have a very, very big event in Asia.
So when is it up? Kind of in February?
Middle of February, they have Asia Winter Games, which is probably like the European Games. Very, very, very big games in Asia with the Asian countries.
Yeah. So trying to tap back a little bit, rolling probably to the other side. Just following up the game. But as we have a pause right in between, so what's the next step? For sure, the World Championships.
We have Asian Winter Games, and then from there we have these boys have one more tournament in Europe. They go back to Aberdeen in Scotland.
Yeah, that's in March, end of March. Yeah.
Middle of March?
Middle of March, yeah.
And then they travel back to Edmonton, my hometown. We play the World Championships in Edmonton. So.
Would be nice being there.
Yeah.
But we missed, if I talk from the Austrian point of view. But anyway, it's just going to be a good Worlds again. 2007 last time, 10 years after, it's going to be a huge event.
Yeah, Glenn Howard was there last when he won, and they're bringing it. I think it's the last event that they're going to host in our old arena.
In the Rexall Arena,
They
the
built
famous one, Edmonton Oilers one.
Yeah, and now they've built a beautiful new rink, so I think this will be the last event in Rexall, or what used to be Rexall Place, and so yeah, it's looking forward to hopefully a really good event there.
Yeah, quite a bit.
If the Chinese were fortunate enough to finish top 3 in Edmonton, they get to qualify straight into the Olympics.
Now that's the major goal, of course.
Kind of our goal at the beginning to try to prepare for that. But as you know, it's never easy at those World Championships. But they show the potential for this to happen. So that's all we can hope for.
And the long-term perspective, of course, is the Beijing Games in 2022. But like.
Yeah,
the same team, or are you building up already?
You know,
in the use?
Right now for me, it's a 10-month contract, 2-year, 10-month contract. So I'm scheduled for 2 years with these guys, and trying to help the Chinese Curling Association think about where they can go and how they can try and look to the future, because as you know. It's not something that you can just worry about one and then, okay, let's think about the next. You need to look far ahead.
So, getting back to the game, doubles lying there, just to make sure that you don't run the right blue one to the red one. So maybe just going for hit and roll on the front could be.
I'm not sure if he's doing that or just the one, not the double.
Yeah, just not the double, but just rolling in.
Right.
I think good, just easy takeout now, not easy, but lightweight takeout, I would say.
And again, in a game like this where we haven't had control, this might not be what I would have played. He's looking at it maybe to sit 3. I would have looked at it saying we really want to go for the steal and maybe come around. You don't have control of the game. There's only 3 ends left. They have hammer in this 6th end. You might have hammer in the 7th. They'll have hammer in the 8th. So in a situation like this, the way it was looking, I might have been really aggressive there to try to force that steal.
Yeah.
Maybe you lose big points and lose the game here, but there's really no difference losing the game here or losing the game in 8. You lose.
Yeah.
So this might have been an opportunity and will be an opportunity as a coach for me to sit back and say, okay, boys, you're in a game, you don't have control, the other team sits in control. If they score 1, they're up 2. Best case scenario, you're looking at an extra end maybe, and they'll have hammer, so you might want to try to push a little harder here instead of playing that careful.
I totally agree on that. So, definitely an end where your team putting up the pressure on now Stefan Walstad. It's his first rock in this 6th end.
The only good news here for us, I think, is that he'll be close. Yeah, so once again, we have a decision to make, right? You play this safe and you hit and roll behind. He has draw to the 4 foot to get his 1.
And that's enough for him right now, yeah.
If you're satisfied as a team to do that, and you're satisfied to force 1 being down 2, then you play the hit here. You try to roll, but roll really isn't important. What's important is you stay 1 and 2.
Yeah.
If you play aggressive on a roll and roll out, he's got a nose hit for 2. So the roll means nothing really.
Yeah.
You must stay.
Yeah, and it's such a difficult shot always to execute the way you want it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess the decision could also be then to come around that guard, forget it, give him the double, and if he misses, you steal.
Yeah.
But I think they're electing to play it safe here, and they'll bide time, and there's nothing wrong with that either. I'm not sure about you when you coach. I know some coaches are very, very set in this is the right way to do it. This is what we think. But from my perspective, sometimes there's.
I tell the players when I'm in the coaching position, just like it's always options. You have to decide yourself what's the best way to do. But you cannot say always is this the right option. Either if you want to come home without hammer, being up 1, whatever. It's difficult. It's depending on the ice. It's depending on the possibilities. But it's always like a momentum, and you have to decide.
打甩吗？不是啊，是。
Vær litt forsiktig, Alex.
Hæ?
Litt forsiktig utpå her, det kan stå.
Ja.
Mine har gjort det.
You know, that's so true, Uli. It's the game of curling always has options, and sometimes we look at it from what might be higher percentage, and we think that's the right way. But sometimes, as you know, and maybe viewers at home that don't play curling, sometimes you just feel. Sometimes you just feel confident in doing something because you know you're going to make it, and it may not be the statistics or the numbers don't show that it's the right thing to do. But if you're going to feel it and make it and execute the shot, then how are you going to say that's wrong? So, and here a nice nose hit.
Yeah, here you go.
And they score their 1.
Yeah, so it's up. Again, the 2 counters in lead, like 4-2, the new score here. But that gives you the hammer back in the 7th end. Might be an option to tie the game in the 7th end, or
blank,
and then go try to
force or steal.
Yeah, but still, I think good opportunities. So 6 ends played in this German Masters semi-final, and we also have an update on the other sheet. It's Timo Feev of Russia could score a single in the 6th end. So here's a lead of 1, 3-2 by Team Smith of Scotland.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of that game also. Team Smith has played a fantastic event here. They were in our pool. They went undefeated. We played them. Actually, I think we were a TV game. They played very, very well. They're another nice, young, up-and-coming team with fathers who play.
Would you like the Muhat Manitoba Tucks? Like, it's like they put up some history. Like I told probably it's now the new Scottish style.
Right.
But it's good. I see this. Having the comb room sliding out, but very precise. I think they're just really good guys. And actually, I mean, the next generation of former famous players.
Right. It's nice to see. I was actually just talking about that. It makes me feel even older. We should.
Me too.
I know. We played against their dads.
Yeah.
And their fathers, and now we're watching their sons. It's kind of neat. I'm happy. You know, like I said, I'm gonna talk to my team about that situation last end. The one nice thing about it is you get to watch a game where we still have opportunities if the other team makes mistakes. We still have opportunities to put the pressure on, make him make something at the end. So that's the hope here for Team China and for Team Norway. They're hoping to try to play this out fairly carefully and simple, so that coming home they have an opportunity to just play an open shot to win.
Kan jag få lite mindre?
So those of us watching the patterns that we see in our game, and I call them patterns because it's very much like chess. There's certain patterns that start every little maneuver. And in this case, when you have last rock advantage, you put your corners up. When you don't and you're behind, you put the first one in the house, second one guard. So if you're watching a lot of curling, you see this pattern or this setup often. And as simple as it looks, it is so important, right? You saw a few times in this game, you said mistakes, where the lead will put his first one in the house instead of in front, and the other team gets to hit it, and it changes the whole complexity of the end.
And that's what I don't like with the don't get me wrong with this how to say when you compare like chess and curling, it's like that's a huge difference. It's like 40 meters in between, and you cannot just
Pick up a piece and move
the
it.
figures like in chess. So it's just like you have to play first and execute it well,
Right.
and that's all about it.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of teams in theory they're really great players, but then you need of course the skills to really play, and even more with the sweeping and all this, the more athletes are on. So that's a big challenge.
Yeah.
The whole mixture. Yeah?
And that's a great point. You know, we use the example of chess on ice, but you're right. We're not just picking up a piece and it always goes where you want it. We have to put it there. It's a 42-pound rock and traveling 100 and some feet, 120 some feet, and we have sweepers to manage all this. So yeah, very good point. And you know what? These curlers make it look so simple. They really do. They make it look easy.
Yeah. But always I say like if somebody back home not curling familiar, of course I'm sure the most of the majority will be curlers back home watching us. But also ein Willkommen an die deutschen Zuschauer an Sport Deutschland TV. Jetzt, auch hier nochmal Dankeschön. Es schaut immer ein bisschen einfach aus, aber ich glaube, man kann es gerne mal ausprobieren. Da bitte die Anfragen an den Deutschen Curling-Verband schicken und senden. So that was just a warm welcome to the German viewers on the other channel, Sport Deutschland TV, watching us hopefully. So coming back to your point, it's like actually I like the game of curling also from the point of view to get people in. It's easy, like half an hour just introduction. You can play, you can join well-educated competitive players. You could be part of the game. But of course, getting up to this level where these guys playing, that takes time. That takes a lot of training, a lot of traveling, a lot of competition experience, and that makes a complete, well-educated curler.
Yeah, you know, the beauty of our game is, you know, you look at USA right now, and they said curling is one of their fastest or biggest growing sport in the United States. You look at China, and it's actually really, really interesting because in China, they're actually talking now that they want to build curling clubs to provide curling for the people, not just for elite performance for Olympic medals and world championships, but for the people to use. And you mentioned this curling for just regular people outside who want to enjoy something that they can do for a long, long time into older age and enjoy social with their friends.
As it is quite common, of course, in Canada. And it has been or still is in Scotland, for example, and also is in Switzerland. I know like they have lots of infrastructure there, a lot of clubs playing. I think it's more than 40 curling clubs around, and they're really nice clubs as well in Switzerland. It's really, and that's where you generate also former future athletes, of course, and also like it's a lifetime sport, I always say. You start early and you can play as golf for your whole life.
Exactly. A good example is golf, and you know, not everybody golfs to be competitive. A lot of people golf because they enjoy the game, and in these other countries, Canada, Switzerland, Scotland, you have regular people working jobs, and then in the evenings, once a week, twice a week, they go and play with their friends or mixed with their wives, and it's a social outing. And they get to be active and enjoy sport. And the thing with curling, once you, and you know, I call it the bug. Once you get that taste for a little bit of success in curling and you succeed at maybe putting that rock where you want it to go, and you start building momentum, you start really enjoying the game. And so, yeah, hopefully for the people that are at home that haven't tried, find a curling club and see if you can try once, because I think it's a very, very nice sport that can be played for a long, long time.
And then you figure out at the very beginning it's not so easy than just the chess. But that's, man, we actually in Germany witnessed this a couple of times when we were on the big TV screen on Olympic time. So people they are fascinated. They have time to even think what's happening. What could I play? Because you have time to watch, and that's also a thing. But of course it's and you have to just try, and it's always a question of infrastructure, where to try. If you go to a hockey arena, it's difficult. You can showcase the game, but it's not working. Like you're throwing this turn, but it probably falls to the other side due to the ice condition. Anyway, I think we have to go somehow back to the game.
I know.
Just losing this camera attempt, corner freeze, I think was the call, but this too long and therefore to straighten up.
So even people who train and play a lot still make what I call simple mistakes or errors. And that's back to your point. It's not picking up the piece on the chessboard and saying, here it is. Where here there's too many outside factors that prevent that from being that simple.
So we are also back following up the last season with all this broom talks going on. It was like this kind of steering the stones due to, I think I'm a friend of that the sweeping at all for the last years has been such a factor. The more athletes, and so really the people that have good skills on sweeping, that's much more count. But on the last season it was far too much because it was more technical thing, or how do you say, the manufacturing thing?
Yeah, you know, for 2 years, I think. I was involved in many conversations regarding whether or not we were just old and dinosaurs and holding back the progress of the game, or whether or not this was actually questioning the integrity of curling and the integrity of our curling game. And I think in the end, these debates and these struggles of whether or not technology advances a game or causes problems with the game in terms of the game's integrity is something that we had for debate. I think the wonderful thing of our sport becoming an Olympic game, inclusion into the Olympics, is that it brought forward the notion that curling is for athletes. And these guys, all of these players you see on TV, all these players back home that are trying to make that next step, these players are in the gym 5 days a week. These players train in the summer. These players worry about nutrition. These players work with sports psychologists. They do everything that high-performance athletes do, and our game has grown in that direction. And that broom kind of took away a little bit from that, because now you have one person sweeping, the other guy's walking. It took away from the look of the athleticism when you had people that were 50 years old saying they were as effective as the strongest men playing our game. So when you get those comments, you realize that broom was too much. So in golf, there's certain clubs that professionals cannot use because they're
too far.
Too much advantage to the golfer, not enough advantage to the course. And that broom, I think, was kind of that.
I totally agree on this point. I think it's just like it has to be more the skills instead of just the material of these things. And you would go to sports like Formula 1 and all these like high technical sport where it's just a factor of really fabricates you use, or of course it's skills also, but it's not in the balance. It's not the huge point.
Right.
So
it took away the human factor.
Yeah, the human factor. And coming back also to your point, I think the whole package, and that's what I really like also, like starting from the first Olympics, we were on in '98, and then there's just a really some development, and I think it's a really in the right direction, and not losing even the social skills as well. It's still a big family, it's still good relation, also hard fight on the ice, and this was just kissing the guard.
Yeah,
trying to run back the blue on the red and the red on the blue. That would be the call.
So that's a wonderful example of what we're just talking about for you guys back home that are players or not players. Last year with the material that they were using on the broom, he wouldn't have missed that
Yeah.
shot
Yeah.
because they would have been able to back that rock off and then make it go after.
Så istället för att fortsätta då.
So when you look at the national championships in Canada, we had 6 teams that played the whole week in our nationals that were well over 90% average as a team, as 4 players.
Yeah.
Well over 90.
Well over, yeah.
So in the past, you'd be lucky if you had one team in play a whole event, the whole team well over 90. Now the majority were. So you know the technical aspect that these players have, now you pay for mistakes. If you don't throw it properly, you make a miss. And the game requires mistakes in order to have a game. If it was like chess where we move, then that's what happened with our game before, where no free guard rule, win a coin toss and win 2-1 and say thank you. With the peeling game. So yeah, these are fantastic examples in a game where, you know, there's still possibilities for both teams and there's stress on these players. They still one tiny little mistake and it can turn either way.
That's a drama we want to have and we want to see.
Yeah.
So it's Stefan Walstad's first stone in this 7th end. He's going, as I could see it, right for going a guard, playing up just to secure the situation in the house. Just lock up the center here, make the run not possible. So a little bit probably on the center, but on the left-hand side, that would be the perfect
location or placement, yes. Once again, we see tiny little mistakes, but these mistakes from Team China are allowing the Norwegian team to play simpler shots and keep the pressure on Team China, where most of the game, majority of the game, the Norwegians have had this advantage due to rock placement or little mistakes like we just had. And now the situation becomes a little more difficult for the Chinese.
It's just now there's a draw spot, but a difficult one. You could see, I think as the ice is not too much curl on it, but it's a possibility. And even the lineup, starting from the first guard going in, it's actually in the direction where you can really follow the pass to somewhere place it even front 4.
Right.
To be sure, be ahead of the T-line. That would be the perfect spot. And then giving them the chance, opportunity even for reduce here.
Yeah.
But still there.
We call this in our game a skip's deuce.
Yeah.
There were times when we played, and I'm sure when you played, where the whole team misses and it looks terrible, and somehow your skip makes a perfect first shot, and then you get gets a 2.
Yeah.
So a skip's deuce. We're in a position here where we have a possibility of a skip's deuce.
So your new skip or throw on first position, Xia Mingxu, throwing this. He showed that he has a perfect weight today. Needs it now again. 哦 that looks good.
Gotta
really
go.
well swept, but not enough.
Not
just 2 centimeters maybe. Very well swept, and also from the call, the line was perfect. It was just, I would say, 30-40 centimeters missing for the perfect shot. But still, it's depending now. I mean, there's some risk for the Norwegian team. So they either have to lock this drawing pass, or they somehow, I don't think they go for a hit, but maybe place another one. They could go, but still you have a chance to make it 2 with a slightly split something.
Yeah, and I guess here the decision really isn't about this. It's probably more a decision of what you want to see next end. How much risk do you want to take right now to allow yourself to be up playing the last end, or how much risk do you want to take to not lose last rock advantage?
Yeah.
So it's measuring how much risk versus the reward
Coming back to the basics, I mean, everybody
Risk
curl the
reward.
risk versus reward.
Det er dumt å
Yes.
dytte på den der foran, da.
Ja, det
So your skip, Zhang Yingsang already.
Det blir ikke enkelt.
No, actually it was Dexin Bar. It was Dexin Bar sitting in the back. He was really looking for the angles already. If there is a run back from the outside
Den er jo gull, da.
to get some angle.
Så drar den for 3.
And this is interesting because both teams are actually looking at the same thing. What does the other team have? How can we get through this? And that's the beauty of our game also. You can't just think about the one shot you're playing right now. You got to think, what's the other team going to do if we do this? What's the other team going to do if we do that? And you also must look at your last end. So here he looks like he's electing to play a quiet takeout.
Was the pointing? I think the ice. I think he was pointing maybe for just maybe
guard?
I catch it. No. Even drawing through this port as well and going to the back four. No. But he's the
Not a
way he's
lot of
giving
ice.
the ice. I don't think he'll probably.
A quiet takeout, or
Skal over linja, tenkte jeg.
it's not a guard.
No.
Det var det jeg lurte på. Ja, det er sikkert bra, det. Altså.
I think they go for actually really a take. Or they're going for this guard on the right hand side.
They could be corner guarding
Corner
one of the.
guarding on this right hand side, giving the ice like this.
So then, if that's the case, China should have an opportunity to split their
Yeah, that
Xian
was the call I
mentioned a few minutes ago, or
Yeah.
moments ago.
He's going for the.
Oh.
Oh. He had a pick underneath. He was sure. Didn't feel well under his hand. And
So-
so that's definitely the corner guard he's throwing. So
Fart er bra.
Pretty good recovery, eh? Considering he felt something was under his rock. For those of you that don't know, when he was coming out, he pulled his hand back and forth during his slide. And sometimes when you're coming out, you feel a piece, something grabbed the rock. You can see right here. He feels something, so then he pulls it back and forth to try to get that thing to release whatever's under there. And very nice recovery. And that's how good these players are.
really in between, like, oh, there's something wrong. Or
Yeah.
back and forth. Yeah. And
So
they
it's-
still have the right weight in the hand. Like he really needs to throw it well.
I don't know, the example in golf doesn't exist, but it'd be like stopping halfway through your swing and
Probably.
kind of adjusting your
Yeah,
shoulder
yeah.
and then finishing your
Yeah.
swing. So it's not an easy thing to do what he just did and to succeed.
Coming back to the task now, or it's just like the split we were talking about, getting on the red one, just play before and taking it a little bit slightly and bumping away the blue one from the 4 foot, and the shooter also rolls in. That will be the perfect one. Is it possible?
Yeah, I think so. I think he, especially considering the score, I think what the Chinese are looking at is whether or not there's a chance at 3.
Oh, yeah. Even
And-
putting a bit more weight on.
And how much weight to throw, yeah. Because if you throw maybe if you throw back 4 foot, back 8 foot weight, maybe you can kick that thing far enough to get 3. I think the 2 is easier. The 3 is still there. I think that's what they're discussing.
I think the only thing with the going for a takeout weight would be like, okay, if you make sure that you, of course, the one red stays, and maybe the shooter somewhere in the back 12, but then you have to get really rid of the blue one.
Yeah.
That's probably the easier way to play instead of the just draw weight thing.
Right. So I think that was my Chinese isn't very good,
Come on.
but let me translate for you. I'll pretend. I think the discussion was exactly what we were just talking about. Whether or not you play it quiet to try to keep your shooter and the one they're going to try and touch as the 2 counting stones, or if you play it a little heavier, hit that a little harder, make sure the blue goes far enough out and your shooter, the one you throw, stays in the house for the second. And based on the ice in that, I would suggest maybe hitting it with a little bit more weight. And
Looks like, yeah.
and hoping the shooter sticks around. So
Could be even. But
I think
it's not
it's close.
So yeah,
it's got to curl a little bit.
it's not too bad. Needs
Hard,
a
hard,
finish.
Not enough.
Not enough. No.
So one of those things where you know, he elected to use way more weight, or maybe that was a mistake, but he elected to play way more weight. I, on the other hand, will talk a little bit about this to find out what their conversation was about, so that I can hear their process in terms of thinking that shot through, and then talking, just making sure that the communication for that shot was good, so that, you know, it's okay, we make mistakes, we're human. As long as the process discussing that shot was good, then that's fine, but it could be a teachable moment.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a 4-3 lead for Team Walstad after 7 ends played in this German Masters semi-final. Along with me is Marcel Rock, the coach of this team of Harbin, in the northeast of China. They're all coming from Harbin area, or is it like all spread out?
Most curlers in China are still coming from Harbin, but there's a couple other areas that are going to start to produce some curlers as well. There's a couple curling clubs in Shanghai now.
Shanghai, okay.
So
I heard about that.
In the future, I think you'll possibly see some curlers coming from there. There's talk about building a new facility in Beijing area.
Beijing area, yeah.
So I think you could see that as possibly a national training center.
And there will be the Worlds on soon again.
The women's Worlds are in Beijing this year. So.
So coming back after 2014, it was the men's. Yeah.
Thomas Olsrud.
Yeah.
First World Championship. So yeah, here, you know, the potential for growth of curling in the world, China is a nice place to look at potentials for growth. So I guess for Team Norway here, if they can chip this rock across and open up the front, then again we talk about patterns, but right away we have an opportunity. If he's able to make this, then it should provide Team Norway with a fairly open shot with their last one to win the game. If you're Team China, you want to see him make this mistake right here, so that you provide yourself at least some cover to make him have to throw his last rock. Looks very good.
Yeah.
Wonderful shot.
One of the most difficult shots you can play. It's just like probably on this ice a little bit easier, as it's a little bit straighter. You can play straighten up, but like on arena ice, sometimes with a lot of curl, sometimes you really make sure at the right momentum you call it.
Yeah.
But of course, I mean, if you have this one of the, let's say the task or the what you really need to have on this level, you need to one on the league position. You need a player playing those kind of shots.
Right, and
on a regularly basis.
Yeah, and I think it used to be missed more often. Now I think it's made way more often than missed. Statistically, anyways.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see the simple pattern of Chinese trying to put up rocks and the Norwegians just trying to keep that path open so that the last rock can
So
come.
we're coming back to your chess.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, it's these routines. But also sometimes it's what I try to explain the younger teams is not always stick, and that's the big challenge. You're in this pattern, you're thinking in this, now it's this end, and I have to play this, I need to go on the scoreboard. As you said before, sometimes there are momentums, you need to have this instinct, you need to have this also a little bit experience. No, maybe now it's the right time to change this and go for it, and that's probably...
So what this does, I think both teams are happy with this result.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because now, I guess, if we fast forward and we clear every rock that's placed now, and that red rock stays, our last rock in the house allows us to sit 2, and Norway has to make their last one draw.
Pressure?
Possibly, because if I make a mistake, I actually lose now.
Yeah, definitely.
Rather than just hitting an open rock, and if I roll out, well, we go an extra end, and we move forward. So best case scenario is not here for China, but China, considering how open it is, we just if we can succeed in laying 2 at the end, then that's the best we can do right now.
Yeah.
So you're going to see Norway try to clear both of these rocks, the red one into the other red one, to prevent that situation, where then Norway would only have to throw against one.
So looking at the angle, hit on the left-hand side, probably 2/3 maybe.
Yeah, a thick.
Three quarters.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
thin, something. We'll see. But this also straighten up a little bit and
A little too thin.
yeah. Oh, that was a lucky one. If that stays short rock,
Yeah.
that's also nice in the result, because now you have this one counting on the left side and put away a little bit the pressure for Norway.
It could be the one where they don't even have to stick now on the last one. They could just peel our last one, and this would be the winner. I guess in the end, the Chinese will then have to decide: do we draw up to that and make him and tap it back, or what do we do with our last stone? So yeah, it was a fortunate rock for the Norwegians, but with those rocks in play, the fortunate or not, the angles were set up that something was going that way anyways. So that happens more often than expected. So lucky, yes, but not unexpected.
So Magnus
Litt opp.
McGrotten
Ingenting.
with a simple
Nære?
peel here, simple in the way of
Almost
toss,
another one.
almost none waiting on. Don't want to call it simple in the meaning of it's easy to play, but it's just like
Yeah,
easy, just
that's a-
opening up.
Simple run, and
Yeah.
if they're lucky, they kill the red
Yeah.
one again. But they're satisfied with the situation. I think again, it's not ideal for China, but we'll be satisfied if we can make him throw his last rock. And so, you're in a semifinal here. Maybe not the greatest of executions in terms of a game. Maybe not the most exciting in terms of big shots. But if you can go to a last rock in a semifinals of a Bonspiel without your skip for 4 games in the last few days, then I think Team China would be satisfied with their performance. And Norway, as you say, a very, very consistent team. I think they'd be satisfied with the finals. And I don't know if you have the update on the other game, but
We have. We can do it.
Is
And
it
the finals, I don't want to say it's already set up, but it would come to the end.
suspense. They're waiting.
No, it's no suspense. We can probably do it because here it is. Yeah, that was the options we were talking about. They always were going from this angle, and of course it's there.
Yeah.
2 times they missed it closely, but this time it worked out. So the red on the side, you probably back insurance, we call it in Germany, somehow backing you up, but it's not there anymore. So going
So the
some options, either there's still a chance for keeping the guard in front, or maybe you freeze to the side or whatever.
So this is a situation where you gotta decide how you wanna approach this. What do you want them to look at? If you come around the guard, chances are they're gonna play removing that guard. If you don't think coming around that guard and laying second shots any good, then where do you put your guard?
So they're going for the camera, I would say now.
I believe they're coming around that guard to lay second shot to try to give them that opportunity to sit 2
Yeah.
and hope for a mistake with the last one.
So, but coming up, as you were already teasing it, the other, no, it's no problem at all. So we will give you the final score of the other semi-final at this year's German Masters. It's Team Smith proceed to the final. They won their game, their semi-final versus Team Timofeyev of Russia with 42 final score here. So the Russians couldn't make up the tie in the last end, so they give up. So we will wait who will be the other finalist. Quite a bit of advantage for these Norwegians here. Markus Højberg with his last throw here.
Yeah, if you were in Las Vegas and betting on this at this point, you would say,
Oh,
if you were like this. If you were in Las Vegas, you would say big advantage for Team Norway. Even with that mistake, having said that, he's not happy, but it's not death.
Yeah.
The only thing is now again we get to play 2, And if they make a mistake now, it's actually lose the game instead of tie the game.
Yeah.
And that just adds to a little bit of mental stuff. Vegas odds makers would still give a huge favor to the Norwegians getting through this game at this point.
Have you been to the Continental Cup?
I have.
I have, yeah.
I've played in it 3 times. And
But not in Vegas?
No.
So you missed that one.
Yes. I can imagine. I can only imagine what that would be like from talking to the players. It's
Talking
supposed
to
be
Thomas
amazing.
Ultra, they're still on the Vegas flu so far. They were facing some jet lag here, just coming back from the Continental Cup hold in Las Vegas in the 2nd or 3rd year already, I think, consecutive.
Yes. Yes.
And next year there's a Worlds going on in
Yes.
Vegas as well, so it's going to be a nice spot after the Olympics.
Yeah, I think I was teasing when I was in the United States. We spent a whole month training in the United States and competing in the United States in December. And I was teasing him, telling him Las Vegas is another Canadian venue because a big portion of the Canadian, or the people who attend and watch are Canadians who fly down south, get away from the cold, enjoy some curling, which they enjoy doing, and in a warm climate, and add the fun of Las Vegas. So it's really a great venue. And again, the American viewing audience is growing, so you're getting more American fans coming as well. So very good for curling
Definitely.
all around the world.
Definitely, and the way they showcase these events, it's really good. That's one of the things we really want to see more. I think it's just really putting up events where really deserve. But coming back to this, it's the first rock of Stefan Walstad. He's going for the hit and stay here. Just make sure that he's shot rock now before his last. Definitely wants to keep the shooter in play now.
The impressive thing for me with these guys all game is their weight control. A lot of their takeouts are really nice and calm, not real big weight. It provides opportunities for sweepers to hold the rock. And now he said perfect. I'm guessing perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
So my Norwegian's getting better
It's
as
just
well.
a little bit of rolling the R. I think your Canadian are not too better. Perfect.
Perfect. So now I guess if you're Team China, number 1, you want to stay, because if he makes that mistake. Number 2, do we stay right there and give him the same shot, or do we move this shooter, hit, and move where we finish with the red rock so that it changes it up a little bit for them? So number 1 must stay. Number 2, and then if you were playing a younger team and you wanted him to draw, it might not even be so bad to roll out and make him draw. But with these guys here, they're going to hit that red circle more often than not. So you try to roll in closer, make him decide whether or not he's going to draw or hit, and hope for a mistake. That's all China can do.
So the last shot of Chen Ming-Shu now in this 8th end. They need to have a hit and stay, maybe a little bit of roll to the inner, to the 4-foot here, or even, they want to leave it there. So here's the setup for final stone coming up. I think he wanted to force the draw. I think he wanted to roll a little bit to the side.
Yeah, maybe.
Not giving him the same shot as played before.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm actually, I'm a little bit surprised he's playing the takeout, even though he just played it. I think we have a better opportunity of seeing a mistake with this takeout for the steal than we would the draw. Although the draw would be for a loss if he went through the rings. He has, so the red circle is 4 feet, and then there's probably almost a foot on either side of that. So he almost has 6 feet to draw for the win. And plus sweepers, if you add your sweepers to that, if they're good for 8 feet, he's got 12, 13 feet to work with a draw. And here the precision on the takeout is a little more careful. But again, it's preference, and it looks like he's thrown it perfectly, and it's game over.
Very much in control. Stefan Walstad scores again in the final and puts this and his team into the German Masters final in 2017. I think well deserved. They're undefeated team so far. Really good, and looks like more in control. Here's the final score on the right-hand side, 5-3. Nice controlled win by the Norwegians versus your team. Marcel, has been a pleasure having you here. Thanks again. All the best for the future, and maybe will pop by later on. We'll see. We'll talk about this later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Uli.
So,
Nå er det litt mat.
this was it for the moment. We're joining back in. The final is set is Team Smith versus Team Walstad in the German Masters Final 2017 here in Hamburg. And hope you come back. Tune in again at 2 p.m. Central European Time. This is for now. Uli Kapp says hello and hope you will join us later on at 2 p.m. at the German Masters Final.